Hello everyone and welcome back to the Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. So, it's no stranger. I've said this on the channel already lately. I've been really busy with my work as well as some things going on in my own life that requires my attention. All good. Everything's happy. Everything's healthy. Everyone's wonderful. I've been really busy. So I've been trying to get to these videos as much as I can to make sure that you guys continue to have some additional content. So today's video is going to be a little more laid back. So we're going to get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is show something that I've shown on the channel already. So we have the Star Trek Next Generation Type 1 Phaser Mouse. Energize your workstation. Windows compatible computer mouse, authentic Star Trek action phaser sounds, and electronic phaser beam lights made by FunSource. This particular mouse is sealed in box and was from 1997. And of course, you can get a whole bunch of other products from them, including looks like CD holders, Shuttlecraft CD holder, Starship Enterprise 1701D CD holder, Commemorative Enterprise Quad CD jewel case. So you can get a bunch of different things. I've seen these on eBay, of course. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this mouse today because LGR actually did a video on this already. I believe he did it in one of his Oddware videos where he had gone over this mouse as part of a series, and he did a great job on that. I don't need to go over it, but one thing I'll call out is, shrink wrap continues to shrink, and that's the unfortunate thing over time. Even though it's sealed, you can see that the box is starting to crush a little bit on the bottom and starting to fold in on itself, and I don't want any more damage done to it, so I'm probably going to end up opening this. The second reason why I'd be opening this is I pushed one of these phaser buttons today and it made a very horrible dying sound. So my guess is that there are batteries in this and they should be removed, obviously, because batteries unfortunately over time can leak and cause damage to the components inside the device. So I wanted to start by that because we're going to be jumping into a couple of different peripherals for the computer from Star Trek themed, I should say, in today's video. And I'm excited to show everyone. So you know what? We have lots to do. Let's get right to it. So as promised, we have another computer-related device that is Star Trek themed, and it's a mouse. That's right. Star Trek The Next Generation, transform your computer. It's PC and Windows compatible, full 1-year warranty. Well, I think we're out of that. And it comes with a free mouse pad inside. Pretty awesome. So we see a little picture of the mouse inside here. We have a very happy ensign from in the Star Trek Next Generation earlier uniform days, holding the mouse, or I should say levitating the mouse in his hand, but he looks very excited that he has this mouse. This particular box says Toyorama. I believe it says $2. So I don't know what Toyorama was or is. It's not up here in Canada, but it does say $2 on that. So it must have been a clearance item at the time. This box is sealed, or at least the seller said it was sealed. Now, I think just over time, the tape has let go. I mean, that looks like, yeah. So it is what it is. So again, over time, you have that problem. A little bit of damage to the box in the corner, partly due to shipping, unfortunately. I had purchased this from a seller of 2 devices, and unfortunately, there was a little bit of damage. I don't think it was well packed, to be honest. Okay, let's take a look at the back. So we have Star Trek The Next Generation. It's a mouse and free mouse pad. So you have our I would assume, our character from the front, out of his uniform now, and enjoying all the different peripherals with what looks like some buttered toast and some juice there, I think. So we have our mouse. It says 2-button serial mouse, full 1-year warranty, rugged and durable. We're going to determine that today. We are going to open this and we are going to try it out on one of my older PCs. It says mouse works with any IBM compatible PC, 386 or above. That's pretty handy. Microsoft Windows compatible, no software installation required. So we'll just work right away. And of course it says we have our free mouse pad, which is in the shape of a communicator or a next generation communicator. It says collect them all, or I should say collect them all, slang for them. So we have monitor mask, which I believe is up here by the label number 1. So we'll go over the CRT monitor itself, and it looks like a picture of the Enterprise, and looks like LCARS menus on the sides, maybe some impulse engines, and then of course we have a communicator there as well. And it says here mouse pad, so we see the mouse pad underneath the mouse. Of course, our mouse that we have in front of us. Our keyboard, which is here, so it looks like a picture of a keyboard. I'm not sure if that was DIN 5 or PS2 at the time. We also have disc holders, so we have looks like a shuttlecraft disc holder in the picture, and of course homework holder, which one of those, like, you remember those clips they used to tape on the side of your monitor? It looks like it has the same idea, except it looks like the communicator insignia again that would hold your homework. And yeah, so he seems very, very excited to not look at the monitor. He's looking at the homework, the blank page. Hasn't even taken a bite of his toast yet. Okay, it looks like you can get other accessories as well, not necessarily Next Generation or Star Trek related. It says also available, we have the Flintstones. Take your PC back to PC, add these modern Stone Age accessories, and turn your desktop into bedrock. Then we have Nickelodeon. Bag the boredom, give your computer an attitude adjustment with Nickelodeon computer accessories. And of course, Spider-Man joins Spidey in his fight against crime. The Spider-Man accessories transform your desktop into the web slinger's stomping ground. My goodness, some of these ads were cheesy. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, that is the box. And I expect not to find a whole lot of stuff in here outside of what it says. It says here, this is copyright 1995, so 2 years older than the mouse we had previously seen. And this, again, like I said, this is by Brainworks. Okay, so I'm just going to open up the box here. So as you can see, I'm just going to pull it open. The tape is still there, but again, it's just very, very, unfortunately, it's very dried out by now. So let's pull it out. Looks like we have an insert holding everything together. There we are. I don't want to damage the box any more than it is. Yeah, so sure enough, we have a mouse pad. So there we go. It says here, and then it has mouse install guide for Windows. So we'll look at that in a moment, but the guy did tell me, the seller did tell me that it was never open. So everything's looking pretty good so far. And there is our mouse. We're gonna look at that in just a moment. I'm just gonna put this back in the box and get this out of our way. Well, I put everything back away and kind of zoomed in a little more so everyone can get a better view of the product. So I will mention that there's a very potent rubberized smell coming off of this mouse pad, I'll tell you. And I almost think the room should be ventilated. It's literally that potent. I'm actually surprised. Normally, I found over time that these would give way or the materials would break down over time, but this seems to be in decent shape, which is nice. So inside we have, thank you for purchasing this Brainworks product. Each month, we pick several lucky winners from our Brainworks customer family who will receive free t-shirts, hats, and whatever other cool stuff we can find. So it says here, please take a second to fill out the attached registration card, drop it in the mail, postage is on us, and you'll automatically be entered to win. On top of that, you will get a sneak preview of all the new exciting products from Brainworks. What are you waiting for? Mail it today. Warranty information, Brainworks warrants this product against any material or workmanship defects for 1 year. For the date of purchase, pretty typical stuff. Any issues, give them a call. And on the other side, we have our mouse installation guide for Windows. If there's an existing mouse on serial port 1 or 2, start Windows. Tells you to go in the Program Manager, double click on the main folder. When it opens up, go to Windows Setup. So it's giving you the Windows 3.1 kind of instructions here. If the existing mouse is a PS2 type or bus mouse, this is a 6-pin round connector. Warning, do not try to plug your Brainworks mouse into this mouse port using an adapter. The circuitry is not compatible and can damage both the mouse and your computer. Oh, that's interesting. I was laughing for a moment because I thought it was going to say, don't try to shove the 9-pin into the PS2 port, but it's actually saying do not use an adapter because it's saying it's not compatible. Not too often I'd see that. And then we have and oh, look at this. It just comes with a little catalog. So it's a catalog apparently. Welcome. Here at Brainworks, we think computers should have as much personality as the people who use them. So we came up with these unique computer accessories. Now you can transform your PC into the likes of Bedrock, the Enterprise, or the wacky world of Nickelodeon, whatever suits your personality. Whichever one you choose, we know you'll love them as much as we do. So opening it up, so we have Star Trek The Next Generation. So you can see all the things that we mentioned earlier. We have the, looks like that mouse, the monitor screen that goes around it. We have the homework kind of arm that goes out, which looks like the picture of the Enterprise going to warp. Then we have the keyboard, which is pretty darn neat. We have the disc holder down here, the shuttlecraft. And of course, we have the mouse pad and mouse, which we're going to go over today. Continuing on, it breaks it out into all the different prices. So here we are. So this mouse would have cost $30 back in the day. This is the keyboard, which we about $70. We have the disc holder at $13, the homework holder at $13, the monitor mask and free mouse pad. So if you get the monitor mask, it comes with another mouse pad as well. So that gives you that whole mask around the monitor. That's what it was called for $19.99. And transport yourself to the Bridge of the Enterprise space parts. So it says $99.99. I don't know if that would be like, it says here, homework holder not included for $19.99. So maybe you buy everything else and then you have to buy the homework separately. So maybe they gave you a package deal. But anyway, nice to look back at this. I'm glad this is intact. So we have Nickelodeon. So you can see what the Nickelodeon setup would be. Very similar to the Next Generation in terms of the components it would come with. The same thing here, you're broken all out, and then of course giving you a packaged price. We have the Flintstones. Oh, that would be pretty darn cool back in the day. I like that. And then of course all broken out as well. And it says more fun stuff. So it has Brainworks, all of their different swag they would have offered at the time. Tells you what the item numbers are, the sizes they come in, and when you can order them. And of course, coming soon is Spider-Man. So we haven't seen that yet, but you can do an order through the mail, cut this out of this magazine or this box, or you can order toll-free or even use your fax machine. Wow. All right, that's pretty awesome. Plus, you pay your shipping handling fee of $4.50. So the mouse itself, I mean, pretty sturdy, but I find it's hard to, kind of hard to hold on to believe it or not, as an adult. I don't know if as a kid it would be a little, easier or what have you. The mouse buttons themselves are really, really clicky. So, I mean, no disappointment there. Definitely a lot of nice feedback. And we have the Starfleet insignia, the communications insignia there. On the bottom, we have a little bit of detailing, but we also have our good old famous ball mouse. And can we get that out? Okay, so I was able to get this twisted, but it took quite a bit of force to get that bottom to open up for us. So there we are. We just have your typical ball for the ball mouse, and of course the sensors inside, or I should say the rollers that give the input to the board, the circuitry that's inside that communicates with the computer. Of course, we have our cover, and that took quite a bit to get turned and closed and opened and all that stuff, but I don't know if it's because of the age of it or not. I definitely had to use a screwdriver to be able to close it properly or open it properly. So hopefully now it'll work just fine. Okay, and of course you can't have a mouse without a keyboard. That's right, we have the keyboard as well as part of that set. And of course, it's a keyboard. And we have the same ensign. Well, I don't know. I don't see his rank insignia, so maybe he got demoted because of the whole mouse situation. But we have the keyboard here. It looks like Space the Final Frontier is written on it. NCC 1701D. Really excited to open this up. It says here, keyboard plugs into any IBM compatible PC. Brainworks insignia as well. And we have Star Trek The Next Generation, transform your computer, easy to install, just plug and play, high impact plastic, and built to last with a full 1-year warranty. The flashers, 7 different lights show that you control, non-slip rubber grips, big easy to read letters, wrist rest reduces hand stress, high impact plastic, tougher than your desktop keyboard. And of course we have the Next Generation insignia. And of course we have our Flintstones, Nickelodeon, and Spider-Man on the bottom. This again was $19.95 as well. And on this side we have a duplication of what was on the back of the mouse box, so collect them all. We have our monitor mask again, our disc holder. He's eating that same toast, I tell you. We have the toast. He looks like he's staring off into space. Well, I mean, this is Next Generation. I am going to grab my X-Acto knife and just cut open these little tape tabs, I guess I can call them, just to make sure we're good, because I think the whole thing just lifts straight up out of our way. Yeah, and so it just folds up that way. Okay, turn it around and open it up and see what's inside. Okay, let's open up this side to see what we have. So it looks like we have some documentation, and an adapter. Looks like we have it going from the DIN 5 to PS2. So this actually does come with an adapter, where the other one didn't. And it did say don't use an adapter. You need a 9-pin serial. So many good things on the screen right now. I just love Star Trek, and I love this sort of cool niche tech that would have came back out in the day. Now today I'm hunting for Model M's, and then here we are, we have a we have a next generation keyboard. So let's look at this again. So it says here there's our same registration we had for the mouse, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. We have our keyboard instructions. So it says be careful not to plug the keyboard into the mouse connector. This could damage both the keyboard and your computer. So if you have a mouse PS2, obviously, it's telling you not to do that. Turn off your computer, disconnect your keyboard, and plug in the BrainWorks keyboard. If your computer has a miniature 6-pin connector, use the enclosed adapter. Turn on your computer. FCC compliance, it gives you the instructions. And then here it gives us how to use your Flasher's light show. So your BrainWorks keyboard includes a special light show that flashes 7 different patterns which you control. Refer to the right side of this card to learn about special features of your light show. The Flasher's patterns are wave, meltdown, rebound, crash, smile, and chaos. So it says here to turn the light show, press function, scroll lock. To speed up the lights, press function up arrow. Slow down the lights, function down arrow. To move to the next pattern, function right. To turn to the last pattern, function left. And turn off the light show is just press the space bar. I'm going to keep that handy because we're going to try out some of those, assuming that this will work, of course. So we have our adapter, and I think the computer I'm going to be using requires this, so I'm going to keep that around as well. And then here we are, we have our keyboard. Do we have it sealed? No, there's no tape on it, so that's okay. We're going to pull it out. Come on, keyboard. There we are. Oh, just the smell of that plastic. It's quite old plastic. So then we have our Starfleet insignia with our plastic that looks like it's metal. That's pretty neat. And then we have our keyboard. Now, looking around the back of it, I was wondering if it has any sort of, no, I was hoping that we'd have like little stand-ups that allow for ergonomics, but it is on an angle, so that might help. It says Star Trek keyboard, part number STKBO0 or KB0000, rating +5 volts, less than 15 milliamps. This device complies with the US and shows all the regulatory information, and 1994 Paramount Pictures. It says 1995 on the box, of course, and it says for ages 3 or older. Okay, flip it around. We do have our DIN 5 connection that we knew earlier. And yeah, I mean, it is on an angle towards me. Usually I like to flip up the keyboards, but to type on, it's very mushy. I mean, what to expect. I can't imagine back in 94, they really had a lot of, for these types of products, had really, really decent keyboards, but we'll see. We'll see what it's like if it's typing, but I will tell you, it hasn't been used, so it's nice not to have all that dirt and grime you'd have in the keyboard from other people using it. And of course, then we have all of our lights. We have our caps lock, num lock, scroll lock, and then of course, through the command functions, we'll be able to activate some sort of light show. And here it looks like the front of the Enterprise D as well. That's pretty neat. I mean, just as a novelty item, paying $70 for the keyboard, would I have gotten it? No. Would I have begged my parents for it? Absolutely, yes. And back in 95, I would have been 13 years old at the time. So definitely, yeah, definitely something that I would have wanted for sure in my Star Trek collection. So yeah, just really neat how it has, you know, your shift buttons and everything kind of shows the Starfleet insignia, has all the, you know, kind of the font that the Star Trek at the time would be using. All right, enough yapping from me. I think what we need to do is get this up and running. We'll plug in the mouse and keyboard into a computer. And we are back on the bench with our compact Presario desktop PC. It's the 2240. I did a video on this already. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out right there. Pretty awesome system, pretty good find while I was traveling. And I am just in Nerdville here. I'm loving every minute of this. I am a big Star Trek guy, and seeing this on the bench is just making me really, really, really happy. So awesome to see. Okay, so to connect everything, I did use the serial port COM1 on the mouse, and it was as easy as it said. I plugged it in, turned on the computer, and it instantly just started working. I am running Windows 98 on this PC. Nothing has really changed on this computer, so since I featured in the video, I didn't actually make any changes on the computer itself. The keyboard is plugged in using that adapter that it came with, so the DIN 5 to PS2 connector, and I did make note that it did plug into the proper port on the back, because it does say it can potentially damage it. Not sure, maybe because of voltages. Let me know in the comments what you think may cause that, because I've accidentally plugged in keyboards to mice ports and vice versa, and I haven't had a problem. But again, let me know down in the comments in case there's anything that I'm missing on that. So overall, in terms of general aesthetics, I'm happy. I love seeing this. And like I said, the only thing I'm missing right now is I don't have the disc holder or the monitor mask or my work holder, because I'm telling you, I would definitely set this up as a system and transform my desktop PC here into Star Trekville for sure. Especially, like I said, playing some of my older DOS games. And one of them, of course, was Star Trek Next Generation of Final Unity. And I just absolutely loved this game for DOS. I bought this when I was a kid. This one's a sealed copy, but I do have one open. But again, I had that, and that just goes right with the system 100%. And who knows, I might end up making this computer look identical to what's going on here. So I love the fact that the compact fits this kind of aesthetic. Okay, so again, the mouse itself is quite easy to use. I mean, it's a mouse, right? It's a ball mouse, it's a mouse. I don't like the mouse pad too much. Outside of the looks of the mouse pad, I don't like the mouse pad itself in terms of using it. The cord itself for the mouse is hooking on the top part of the mouse pad. You can see it there. Again, probably because the mouse is so new that the cord is just shaped and been held like that for 30 years. So again, that's probably the reason, but I don't like how it's hooking on there. But in terms of movement and things like that, it's very, very responsive. There's absolutely no issues. And in terms of feedback, I would say it's almost a little too much feedback in terms of the buttons. So it takes quite a bit of pressure to activate the button. The alternative is it doesn't do that, right? And it's worn out quickly. So at the very least, it's nice to have that. But you can see I'm clicking around, no problem. I'm not having any issues in terms of using the mouse. And it seems to be working quite well for what I want for sure. In terms of the keyboard itself, let's load up a program here. We have CorelWorks Perfect Suite 8. Generally on a keyboard, you have two little bumps on the F and the J keys, right? So ASDF and then JKL and colon. I don't have it on here. So you kind of look where to start, because I kind of just do that because I learned typing. So this is a test of the new keyboard. So I'll be honest, it's mushy, right? There's not a lot of feedback I'm getting back when I'm typing. So as a result, I'm kind of questioning my typing, to be honest with you. So I'm going, did I type those words? Did I push hard enough on the letter to make sure it gave the input? Now, brand new, it's probably not going to be a problem using, when I'm doing that. But if I was using this quite a bit over time, it's very possible that feedback would, I'd have to look and double check if there's any dirt under there and things like that if it wasn't typing. Okay, here we are with Doom 2. I mean, pretty standard stuff. To be honest with you, I have not tried playing that on this computer before, but you can see I'm using the Next Generation keyboard here, and it's not, it's not terrible to use. It takes a little getting used to the feedback of the actual keyboard itself. The control button being where it is for the fire, it just feels, because it has a function key, right? Be like a laptop almost. So I'm so used to the control key being slightly bigger. I know I can map it differently. Plus using the shift key and the alt key for strafing, or the shift key for running, I just find it kind of cumbersome with that function key there. No different than if you're trying to play this on a laptop, of course. And of course our friend's not there this time. But yeah, so I mean, it's not terrible, but I would recommend probably mapping it slightly differently. So yeah, no, I mean, overall, it wasn't terrible. I wouldn't use this sort of configuration for Doom 2 or as DOS games that require a lot of keyboard commands, because of that function key that's here, kind of like a laptop keyboard, making the control and alt keys slightly smaller in this area. Plus, of course, the design of the keyboard, they had a little more real estate. They could have gone a little wider, but I guess the design they were going for didn't include that. Here we are back at Windows. And again, like I said, if I was using the, strictly the mouse for different applications, or if I was typing a letter within Windows and things like that, I mean, it would work for your day to day. But as a power user, and again, I don't think as a power user, you're going out and buying the next generation keyboard or the mouse. But I mean, overall, I think it's pretty darn neat. Let's take a look at the light show that it was talking about earlier on the card about the different things it can do. Okay, so we're zoomed right in on the kind of like the light area. So this is where our caps lock, num lock, scroll lock lights are, and of course a few others. So you can see if I turn it on and off, you can see my caps lock key is on. And of course the same thing with the scroll lock if we turn that on and off. And of course we also have our num lock key, which is hiding on me here somewhere. There it is. There's our num lock key because it doesn't have a standard keypad here. But it says here to turn the light show, press function and scroll lock. So we'll do function and scroll lock. There we are. Oh, helps if I press the right button. So the first thing that it is doing, that's a light show that is staying on the keyboard. And of course you can activate different functions with this, but it says this is the wave function. Now, if I go to function and up, I can speed it up. So you can see that it's starting to speed up. Or if I go function and down, I can speed that right down to a crawl. You can see how it's slowed right down, and I'll go back up again so we can see the design. And the next pattern is function to the right, so we'll do that. So they call this meltdown. This one is wave backwards. I know I called it EVA earlier. We have rebound, which is there. Then we have crash, and we have smile. Looks like a little smiley face, and we have chaos. So it just kind of randomizes the keyboard, and I don't know how much you'd have that on during the use of the keyboard, but it does give you the different functionality to be able to leave that on, or like I said, slow it down, or do different things with it. But overall, as a neat specialty item, I think this is pretty darn cool. All right, let's go to our outro. And here we are at the end of the video with our cool It's a Keyboard and It's a Mouse with the good old next generation theme from Brainworks. And I personally love it. I mean, in terms of, the aesthetics and having a system set up with kind of like this novelty and completing the look with that monitor wrap and the disc holder and things like that, I think back in the day, this would have been really, really neat. And, these are the sort of things they were pumping out that made computers really fun and cool. And I figured what I would do today is bring out the good old desktop system, the Compact, to really show this off as to what it would look like back in the day. I mean, the Doom DOS use, again, just using the keyboard commands or any sort of games that would require the keyboard, is kind of a little, fussy. If you're using the WASD and things like that, that sort of command wouldn't be so bad. But anything to do with the Control and Alt and even the Shift in this bottom left quadrant would be kind of difficult, just because of that extra function key they put in. But overall, in terms of build quality, I haven't used it, but for 30 years it sat in a box and it seems to be working really well. And as I mentioned about the mouse, the actual buttons themselves require a bit of firmness to put down. Now, obviously that will go down over time, but for now, it requires you to think about it when you go to press the mouse versus just using a mouse today. And in terms of the keyboard itself, we have that cute little light show that we have going on here from earlier. That's kind of neat, and you can do different things with that. I mean, again, just novelty. But I mean, you do have your keyboard layout, which is, more reminiscent of a laptop keyboard than it would be a full-size desktop keyboard. Obviously, because there's no numpad, but also the fact that everything's kind of squished together. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I love the cool color design of it. It was not uncomfortable to use. The keyboard's a bit mashy. It's not a lot of feedback on that. So yeah, I had to kind of double check to make sure I was typing correctly as I was typing. But just like any other keyboard, you would get used to it as you were to use it. But anytime I get to experience really cool stuff like this from back in the day, especially Star Trek themed, I'm all about it. And I'm so glad I was able to bring that to everybody here on the channel. That said, if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We're surpassing 14,000 subscribers. Another subscribe is a free way that you can help this channel grow. Tell YouTube that you like what you're seeing, help the algorithm show this channel across the platform. And again, Thank you so much for supporting the channel and helping me bring all this content to you and supporting my bad habits. Hit the notification button, change it to all. You'll be notified of new content such as this. Please leave a comment down below. Did you own one of these novelty type items for your computer? Did you actually outfit your system back in the day? Please let me know down in the comments. I respond to absolutely every one of them, and I love the interaction on the channel. Always making new content. We'll see you in the next video. Enterprise, one to beam up.